Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Sci-Fi Rewind. Tonight, Space 1999, and we're going to play my favorite episode called WarGames. My name's Ian, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host Joseph, and we're going to go back and watch another classic episode of Space 1999 from the mid-1970s. And what is great about this rewatch, if you haven't watched our other episode, this rewatch, this is one of my favorite shows. It's been my favorite show for 40-something years, one of my favorites anyway. And Joseph is watching it for the very first time. So this gives us a great opportunity to hear the opinions of both someone who has grown up with this show and loves it, and someone who's watching it for the very first time. And what we're going to see tonight is an episode where they really tried to make things like explosive decompression and things like that look real. And it was hard in the 70s, and we'll talk about that as we go tonight. This episode's kind of crazy. The first half's action-packed, the second half's a little strange. So, but hey, that's Space 1999. You got to get used to it. It's going to be fun. Joseph, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I really enjoyed the first episode that we watched, and I'm glad to be back for another episode. I'm excited.
It is, the moon being blasted out of orbit is pretty improbable, of course, and I don't know that the moon could have even withstood those kind of G-forces and stayed in one piece.
I was wondering about that.
And we've kind of talked about that off air a little bit, that, how probable is this? Well, probably not, but it's science fiction. How probable is warp speed or molecular transporters? Probably just as likely as something like this. I don't know. So when it comes to science fiction, you have to kind of suspend reality a little bit, or you're not going to have any fun with it. So, and here we go. This one is, again, Space 1999, and this one is called WarGames. This was episode number 4 in season 1, and we're going to go ahead and get started right now. We will be stopping and starting as we go for commentary, because we don't want to talk too much over the show unless there's no dialogue at that moment. I might say something, but we're going to try to keep the dialogue for mostly when we're stopped. So let's go ahead and watch it now. This is Space 1999, the episode called WarGames, and this originally aired back in the mid-70s. And this is season 1, episode 4. Here we go.
All right.
And we open up with 3 warcraft heading towards the moon.
Where did they come from?
There was no indication on the long-range scanner.
Still no reply from the planet?
Nothing at all.
Keep trying.
This is Moonbase Alpha calling on all frequencies.
They're hawks. They're Mark 9 hawks. Certainly looks like...
Now, how they recognize these ships from another planet, I don't know. I never quite figured that out. I think what happened was these people on this planet went into their database or their mind or whatever and created these ships based on some ship they've seen before, I guess. But I've always kind of wondered.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wondered about that. How would they know about our Mark 9 Hawks? You know what I'm saying? Although you never see a Mark 9 Hawk, I guess there wasn't any of them on the moon, but they were like a warcraft that Earth had come up with, I guess, is what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. They're war machines. And that's enough for me. Get going, Alan.
Of course, Alan flies one of the Eagles, so he's going to go get in there.
All frequencies. We are people from the planet Earth. Please acknowledge. This is Moonbase Alpha. We are people from the planet Earth. Please acknowledge.
Probably the second most improbable thing in this show is the fact that the moon would travel through space at such a velocity that it would run into planets every week. I mean, every week there's a new planet.
That's the most unrealistic aspect.
It is actually the most unrealistic, because even if the moon was accelerated out of orbit, it would be sublight, which means it could be anywhere from 6 to 100 years before you reach your first solar system, if you're heading towards the closest one. They had no control over their course, so they're just literally hurling into open space, but yet every month or so they run across a planet that they fly by or something. So of course the truth is they all would have died on this rock trying to make it to the first planet. That's the truth. But again, we're going to suspend that because we love sci-fi and we love the show.
give it a
all
pass
sections
for
Alpha.
now.
Alien ships are approaching the base. Their intentions are not known.
Eagle Flight 1 will intercept. Flight 2, move to backup positions. Relief crews to launch pad areas. Crash units, stand by. Rescue and casualty Eagles manned and ready.
The model works amazing. I love it.
Main motors.
So how do they know they're being attacked right now? They don't. I mean, are they just guessing that they're probably hostile?
Well,
or-
they've got 3 ships that appear to be warships that are heavily armed, approaching the moon with no communications.
Okay.
So you would definitely go to full
And seal
alert at that
primary
point.
bulkhead doors.
There's still no reply, Commander.
Alien ships approaching at V14.2.
It's nearly twice the speed of our Eagles.
So these things are fast.
Oh yeah.
Get on their tails, Alan.
They got 2 squads of laser-equipped Eagles.
Now the stock like Eagles don't have weapons at all, do they?
Some do, some don't. They call them laser-equipped Eagles. They've got so many of them that are laser-equipped. They really don't ever tell you how many of anything they have. It's kind of like, even on Star Trek, you knew how many guys were on the ship, but we never knew exactly how many shuttlecraft were in that shuttle bay.
Copy. 10 seconds.
We can't hold them, Commander.
Alpha's wide open.
5 seconds.
You know when the scientist is telling you to fire, it's probably time to fire.
And there's our explosions.
They love blowing up models, man. There we go.
Good on you, Alan.
That was too easy.
Huh.
It's too easy.
Commander, a new contact.
Position.
Orbital reference 348.
Flight 2.
On the lifts now, Commander.
Flight 2. Cut all checks. Lift off.
The last place you want to be is on the launch pad when they come in. And of course, these Eagles are still sitting there. They haven't gotten them off yet. And there's your open. I think cold opens work best in sci-fi.
They do, yeah.
I think
yeah.
it's great to open up on an alien planet. One of my favorite cold opens was The Devil in the Dark from the original series. You know, the hoarder that crawled around in the caves. And you got a whole cold open and you didn't know any of the people or anything. It was really cool. And I love cold opens in science fiction because they set the stage and then they show the open and then they go forward. And I've always thought that worked best. That thing he's touching right there is what they thought a computer was going to look like.
Some kind of ball with shapes inside.
They didn't realize that computers were just going to be hidden somewhere and all you would see is the screen, the keyboard, and the mouse. And it's funny how each sci-fi show shows computers differently.
They got it a little closer to reality though, because now we have a lot of gaming computers where the case is clear and you can see all the circuits inside.
Truth is, you could build a computer in a sphere like that. It'd be great. It'd be awesome.
People have done it.
You
They've done
could,
it.
yeah.
Oh, yep, we got the sparks flying and
They tried very hard to make it look like they were destroying the entire moon base, but
at least there's less sparks and more actual destruction.
right. And it's difficult because this is a reset episode. I hate to spoiler alert. So it's kind of weird because it's going to reset itself, and then all that damage won't be there anymore. And then now we've created. So what they do is I love how they just like hang wires around. The only thing I would have done different on these scenes is I would have had those wires connected to strings, and I would have been yanking those wires towards the opening so that it gave you more the appearance of air movement, because explosive decompression, as you know, is very rapid, and and everything moves.
Everything would have been flying around.
Countdown. I want to know exactly how long it'll take to get the last laser-equipped Eagle off this rock. Helena, give me a casualty report.
Apart from the Eagle crews, we've lost all technicians on launch pad 4. We have 11 other casualties. 2 men unaccounted for. It's bad, John.
We're at war. Position.
Eagles at reference 326, Hawks at 319, and closing.
Interception.
Laser range in 2 minutes 5.
Alan, they're heading towards you at 319, within range in 2 minutes. We'll try to send you all the help we can, but right now, you're all that stands between us and them. We're relying on you, Alan.
He's got plot armor, though. He'll be okay.
Yep.
Good luck.
An interesting piece of trivia here. Notice the red alert signs. They take the screen monitors out. There's black and white monitors that go in those 2 holes. But when they're at red alert, they take the 2 monitors out and they put a blinking red light in there and a covering that says red alert on it. And you can see that literally it's just a blinking light behind a thing that says red alert.
Leader to Flight 1.
They didn't have screen graphics in color back then.
Can anyone get
Oh,
through? We won't have a home
didn't think of that.
All right, here we go.
This was shot in Pinewood Studios in England. This was shot in the UK. It's funny I became such a big fan of this and I'm not really a Who fan.
Well, they're 2 very different shows.
They are very different, but they're both British shows. These shots are pretty good considering they've got a big black handle that comes out of the back of these things, and they just move them around with that big handle.
Oh,
And
really?
the person that's moving them is wearing black.
I didn't even see it.
They literally stand in a room flying these things around each other, dressed in all black. But, I mean, for the time, it's not bad. I mean, it kind of looks like ships flying around out there fighting each other.
Yeah, it looks fine.
I ate this up when I was a kid because the one thing you didn't get in Star Trek was the great space battles. You know, it was a different kind of show. This one's a little more primitive. And we were only a couple, 20, 30 years in the future.
We're breaking up! Reduce power!
In Star Trek terms, he's losing structural integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting duck.
He needs to readjust his shield harmonics.
Yeah, he really does.
Oh, wait, that's 150 years in the future, so.
Let's hope they take us for a dead one.
You know, these helmets they wear that they keep raising and lowering the visor on, that it doesn't make a lot of logical sense.
I lost contact with Alan.
Well, the
They
purpose is
put them
if the
down and
ship
put them up
is
so much.
well, the thing is, if they're flying through debris or they're fighting or whatever, they put the shield down in case the ship suddenly gets hit by something and they lose cabin pressure. That I've always thought that was pretty much the case.
Evacuate all non-essential surface areas. Secondary bulkheads will be secured in 30 seconds. Paul, Sandra, Kano, you stay with me. The rest of you get below.
Keep thinking these these like monitors with the lights in them, the white things. They
Yeah.
look like earphones, like Apple earphones.
They
now.
do. Those lamps, they're lamps. They're just a lamp. That's all it is a light for that workstation. I thought at first they were some kind of thing you looked into. They're not. They're simply just lamps. If you look, they've got bigger models of them in the quarters and stuff.
I see.
It's just like it was a futuristic looking lamp. They were probably sold back then.
Probably.
Some ultra modern store was probably selling them for $20 a pop.
Oh man.
When I said he blows shit up,
Right.
oh, I would never do something like that on YouTube. Anyway, yeah. Look at this, they're burning shit. This is
Oh,
why
she's
I
putting
like this
hairspray
show,
on
dude.
it.
I'm telling you, you can say what you want about this show. They messed some shit up to get these scenes. Look at the quality, dude. I mean, you can say what you want,
They
but
wrecked
they
the
really
whole set for
tried,
this
dude.
one.
They really tried.
Oh, they got a crack.
Yeah.
Is he gonna put the shaving cream on the window? Yep, that's what.
We got an atmosphere leak. John, do you hear me?
John, we've got an atmosphere leak.
Yeah, he's dealing with a
Oh
fire.
yeah, go ahead, leave the fire.
It's under control at the moment, but I don't know how long it's going to hold.
Sandra, you hold on here. Paul, Carlo, come with me.
You're leaving her there all by herself. You stay here all by yourself with the fire and the explosions and shit, and we're gonna go.
Now I noticed that in the shots from the offensive ships, their laser is just like a blinking light. They don't actually
It
have a
doesn't-
laser trail that comes off of it.
You're right. Yeah, I noticed that too. They're either shooting, I would assume maybe shooting a particle weapon, or it's some kind of rail gun. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is. But yeah, you don't see the beam like you do with the lasers on the Eagles. They tried really hard to make this look like a good explosive decompression.
He's actually trying to fix it too.
Yeah, well, he's trying to get it to stop leaking. He's just standing there casually too, like it's, hey, I'm getting ready to die. But it's a reset episode, so it don't matter. All right, there we go, and done.
That's pretty good decompression effect.
That wasn't bad, dude. It wasn't bad.
Yes, I know.
Now the other difference is that this moon base, they use a lot of paper, whereas in Star Trek there was no paper. There's no paper to fly around.
That's correct, but you have to remember, Star Trek was 100 plus years in the future. This was 25 years in the future. And they were still using paper. Now, I know realistically, the way we actually developed beyond paper, almost about 1999, we were just starting to go paperless, starting to talk about going paperless, not even going yet in 99.
Commander.
But when this was made in 74, 75, you know, they had no idea. Everything printed out. Even in the original pilot of Star Trek, they printed things out on a printer. And that's the last time you saw a Star Trek printer.
Well, they're going by the book. First, they eliminate the fighter defenses. Then they send in the bombers.
It's funny how this other planet sees another planet flying by and they think, oh yeah, well, the best course of action is just to blow them up. Never mind the fact that there's a planet flying by.
This thing's huge. I mean, this thing's like as big as the Moonbase.
The ship?
If you look how small the attack ships are that are flying next to it, those are the same size or even a little bigger than the Eagles. So this thing's huge.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty big.
Ships adrift in space don't do that, but that's okay.
Isn't it funny how they're always fighting on the same plane too?
Yeah. Well, in sci-fi shows, that's true. They always face.
Head up the target display.
See, he blacked out, so they didn't see him, and they went by him.
Give us all the power we've
He's
got,
sitting there blacked out.
And they didn't detect him or nothing,
Nope.
I guess?
Laser at maximum rate.
Must have been because he was shut down.
His ship's screwed up, but he's able to get it spooled up one more time for a shot here. Yeah. That must be a pretty powerful laser.
Wait, did it just blow the whole thing up?
Yeah, oh yeah, it blew it up.
From one shot?
It blew it up
Okay.
so bad that the moon moved. I mean, Christ, the moon moved.
Take computer.
Alpha.
At least everything's almost one hit kill in
Reno
this.
1, do you copy?
With no shields, it makes more sense.
We copy.
Alan, that was terrific.
Yeah,
It was a big
they
one.
have the ability to erect
they meant
a
it for
meteorite shield, and
Absolutely.
it's rudimentary, and they just got it going when the moon got
We were
busted
just
out.
playing
So
dead.
they do have this rudimentary
have you
meteorite
anyway?
shield.
Pretty bad. You?
Well, we're down to auxiliary power. I reckon we can make it back to Alpha. What do you think they've got next?
We're relying on you to tell us, Alan. Out. Victor, how are things down there?
Well, we're all right. What on earth was that?
Their doomsday weapon. It was intended for Alpha, but Alan got in its way.
Alan, is he?
He's all right. But we've got a lot of casualties, Victor. It's one hell of a mess up here. Sandra's at the computer now. She'll give you a safe route back to main mission.
Travel tube to door 9. Corridor 9 is safe, and from there you can enter through the commander's office.
I want you to,
Oh man.
yeah. I want to show you something, but I'm gonna wait till it comes on the screen again. I want you to notice the comm that she's wearing. They're called a comm lock.
Right.
Okay, this thing right here is called, oh, you can't see my mouse, but this thing that she's wearing under her hand there, that's a comm lock. Remember, we've seen
Right.
them. They can talk to somebody on them. Notice the buttons.
It's a
You notice
D-pad,
something
DTMF
peculiar?
pad.
Do you notice something peculiar about the DTMF pad?
There's not enough characters.
There's only 9 buttons.
Yep.
Computers won't work with only 9 buttons. You can get
Yep.
away without the hash and the star, but you would need a zero somewhere in order to make this work. And I always thought that was interesting, that they forgot the fact that you would need to have 4 rows of digits in order. And if you look closely, you can see it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
They just left the 0 out. Okay.
128 dead. Mostly there's no trace of them. Sucked out into space. Explosive decompression.
Survivors.
Those that made it below are pretty much all right. Those that didn't, there's just
Well, they won't make it.
no halfway house.
Well, we still have emergency power. And for the moment, at least, the attack's been called off. Yeah. Maybe that bomber was their last fling. I don't think so, Alan. Anyway, we're still alive. The question is, how do we stay alive?
About the emergency power, Commander. We're running on solar batteries. On minimum requirements, they'll be exhausted within 8 days.
Main generators?
The least badly damaged will take a minimum of 4 weeks to repair.
Anti-gravity units in all areas are smashed beyond...
Ah, he mentioned anti-gravity units again.
Yep.
Most of the casualties were in the technical department.
That is not all, Commander. The food production and recycling plants have been very badly damaged. The water is heavily contaminated.
How long to repair?
9 weeks minimum, but then it would be at least 2 more months before we could begin cropping.
We shall only be within range of this planet for 4 days. Beyond that, the nearest star system will be at least 6 months too far.
Alan, I want you to put an unarmed reconnaissance eagle on a functional launch pad. Helena, you and I are going down to that planet.
Sergeant,
Just a minute.
I rather thought that they've been trying to tell us to keep away.
Victor, the only reason they've stopped firing
That's kind of the thing I got
is
too.
because they don't need the bomb. Alpha is dead. Now, unless any of you have a better idea, the only course open to us is to go down there, meet them face to face on their own turf, and try to persuade them to talk.
Sounds like a bad idea. I mean, you're gonna be past this planet by, dinner time, right? So can't you just...
Believe we're unarmed.
Well, as they just explained, the warships damaged their ability to continue living on the moon.
This is Moonbase Alpha calling all
They can no longer make water or food or any of the things that they need to live, and the power's going to go out. So they have to do something at this point. They've destroyed their ability to continue to go on. And they said the next planet is months away. Again, how all these planets are so close together, I don't know.
Casualty list has increased to 131. Why has all this happened to us, Professor?
It's called karma. No, I'm just kidding.
What did they do to deserve this?
I like old Victor Bergman. He was my favorite character in this, the science guy. I always like the science guy. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, they put the doctor on the ship too.
Need to be afraid of us.
Oh man.
I think they know that.
So that when this gets blown up, they have no doctor.
Well, and she's kind of the co-star, so sometimes she ends up on a mission, and you're like, why her? I'd have brought Alan or somebody, but she's the co-star of the show. She's also this guy's wife.
Oh,
Right.
no response from the planet.
Still nothing, Commander. Maybe they're a race of deaf mutants.
Remember we talked about how the writing sometimes was good and sometimes it was
I
bad?
was guessing.
This episode's great because in the first half the writing's good. In the second half I question it. It's kind of a weird ending.
Compensators.
Something else in this show. The planets, they all were like art renderings. Did you notice that?
Yeah, they look like drawings almost.
Yeah.
No sign of enemy ships.
Which I mean, Star Trek was like that too in the original series,
Yeah, they were pretty rudimentary.
the non-remastered original series. This looks very Martian. What the people in the 70s thought Martians would look like.
Yeah, almost all the foreign places they go to all have this crazy 60s ultra-modern look.
Discs on poles.
Discs on poles and things, yeah, and circles and round things. And
Strange, all systems check out fine. Hello, Alpha. Alpha, do you read me? Come in, Alpha. This is Koenig. Let's contact.
They also built a lot of cheap electronics on this planet, so radio signals are just too much noise.
well, if they ever get back, they really need to upgrade to
Of
Motorola.
course, I can't correct
Yeah,
you.
really.
That'd be my suggestion.
Alpha, you are under ground control. Relax and stand by for touchdown.
We
Well, that's a
almost
little
destroyed
strange.
your entire place, and now we've got control of your ship. But relax. It's okay. It's fine. This effect right here is accomplished by they would put Freon, a container of Freon in there, and they would blow. They had a remote control actuator that would blow that out when they were landing to make it look like the ship was actually landing. Only 2 of the little jets actually shot out something, but you can't tell because they always shot it side on.
Alright, we're about to see the Martians. What is this planet called? Does it have a name?
I don't think so. We wouldn't know what it is yet anyway.
Uh-huh.
See, I'd have
Good
brought.
thing the atmosphere is safe.
I know technically you shouldn't bring any weapons because you're going there to try to make peace. But I'd have probably grabbed that big phaser rifle there on the left.
Oh, they've got beaming technology.
In some episodes, they actually have a tricorder thing that they can use to detect certain things, life forms, I guess, and atmospheric conditions and things like that.
Really?
But they weren't used as much as you see them in Star Trek.
Hey, what is this circuit in the background for? What is that supposed to be?
It's an ICOM HF radio.
They're in a fun house right now with mirrors everywhere.
Yep.
What do you make of it?
That's what we do on this planet. We blow up your shit and then we beam you into a funhouse.
Your face. Say a word. Anything.
The lights.
These are probably going to be those aliens that do mind tricks and stuff, but are actually really tiny or something.
Yeah, this was one of those episodes where if you had Quaaludes, you'd probably take them about 3 minutes ago. And I had to go way back to get Quaaludes because that was a 70s thing. 60s and 70s. Oh, my Lord. Every decade has their psychotropics.
Oh, what did I tell you?
Pink lights scare me. They almost look like the butthead people from Star Trek.
State your case.
Oh, yeah, the big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Pike trapped in that cell thing.
They're called Elosians or Thosians or something.
Why did you attack us? Why?
See, if this was me down there and they just stare at me, I'd be getting mad.
Transmitting messages to you ever since we've been in range. We wanted to land on this planet. You refused to answer. When you did reply, you did so with guns, war machines, and bombs.
If there's some reason that you don't want us to stay here, some basic incompatibility, we could understand. But we're not here by choice. We cannot control the course of our moon.
I know, he's from where Beldar Conehead is from.
Oh, yeah. Planet Conehead.
Knock, knock, please, knock, knock.
Is peace.
What have you done to your moon?
Answer, damn it!
Yeah, see.
You asked me to state my case. All right, here it is. We came in peace. You waited till we were in range.
See, at this point, you
Then you
stop
launched a
talking
surprise
because you're just
attack.
looking like an idiot
You
now.
killed half my people, destroyed my base,
I speak with my phaser
and
next.
left us without the means to
Yeah.
live.
You cannot stay here.
We cannot live on Alpha.
You have no place in space at all.
That's nice.
Deny us our future.
You have no future. You carry with you the seeds of your own destruction. You are a contaminating organism, a fatal virus, a plague of fear.
Well, he's probably right about all that.
Well, yeah, I mean... They should have been like, ah, man, you know what? You're right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. We'll just go back and die on a
destroyed
rock.
Civilization that has survived for billions of years.
You think we're no more than a virus?
Ever since we were blasted away from Earth, we've been fighting for survival. We have survived. Now, how, I don't know. There's no rational explanation, but what I do have is an absolute faith in the strength of the human spirit. And the belief that
I
someone
lost that
or
10 years ago.
something is looking after us. God, if you like. And we will survive.
The death struggle of inferior species is very often the finest hour of their existence. But the end is nevertheless the end.
I refuse to believe we have no future.
Extinction may take a little time. That is all.
Nasty people, man.
That was rude.
Yeah. You thought Klingons were rude.
Helena, this equipment, whatever it is, they depend on it. It was very fragile.
John, violence is not the answer.
I can't accept their judgment.
Have fun.
Yeah, what'd you expect?
Another shirt. Commanders go through
Ruined a
shirts like
perfectly
you
good
wouldn't
suit.
believe, dude. Kirk went through 19 gold shirts.
No. I think we should make a start anyway. Our launch pads 1 and 5 are operational. At least enough to get the Eagles away. If that's what we want to do.
Nothing else we can do. Start Operation Exodus.
That's Controller Morrow. He's kind of second in command, kind of.
No.
Man, they stand just like the Coneheads too, like right next to each other like that.
Yeah.
No.
She's wearing a laser.
Dr. Russell, do not be afraid.
Keep back!
Space is dangerous, man. I'd be
You will
shooting
not
some
kill
folks.
us, Dr. Russell. The power of your weapon will be turned against yourself.
What did she just do? Shoot it up?
Like I said, the writing is weak in some of these episodes. Like, it's a great first half, and then now what are we doing here? I mean, you know, I guess it's still good. I still enjoy it, but sometimes the end of these wrap up weird, and the writing is just a little weird. I don't know what to say. Now she's in a glass box.
And she's dressed up like them.
In our world, there can be no fear.
He was a victim of his own fear. You can share our power, giving substance
His
to your
solution was
wish
to smash shit.
that he should live.
See, these people are like the mind aliens with the big heads in Star Trek TOS.
Now they killed him. They brought him back to life. So the first thing he does is grab the phasers because he's going to go shoot some shit up now.
Helena!
At least that still works.
All personnel should proceed to the technical section where the Eagles are now loading. Close down of all services in the residence section will begin in 15 minutes.
The guy's bringing his drums.
All equipment and
Probably what those actually were.
I have a contact.
It's Commander's Eagle.
Hello, Alpha. Hello, Alpha. Do you read me? Commander, we read you. Paul, we could live on this planet, but we'll have to fight for a foothold. Quiet, please. Alan?
Yes, Commander.
I want you to bring out the last of the laser-equipped Eagles. We'll rendezvous at this position, then I'll transfer to your ship.
Right, Commander.
Victor?
Yes, John.
As soon as Alan's clear, I want you to evacuate Alpha. Well, I can't guarantee what you'll find here, but at least...
It's all right, John. Everyone's prepared to take the chance.
Good.
If I'm not there to meet you, land on open ground and consolidate your position. Victor. Say goodbye to Alpha for me.
Say hello to the planet.
So they have a plan called Operation Exodus, where everybody's ready. They know where to go. They know what to grab. They know what eagle to get on, and they're leaving because at some point they realize they're going to need to go to a planet if they can, because the moon has nothing to sustain them except what they brought there. Where if you went to a planet, obviously it could sustain you. You wouldn't need anything but just the planet. So they've kind of planned all along the way to eventually find a way off the rock. And so that's what's going on right now is Project Exodus. They're trying to they've already lost 130 something people in this attack, but they're trying to take whoever's left and get them down to the planet. He said it's a foothold, meaning we're going to land and we're just going to fight for a spot here. I mean, it's one of those things. He's up on that upper deck. When they load, they take everything with them.
They're just waiting for us. You have 3 minutes, Professor.
Thank you, Paul.
Recording now.
We are mankind. We came from planet Earth, and we built this base called Alpha to learn more about space. But human error blasted this moon out of the Earth's orbit. And so we have traveled the universe searching for a place to live. Now, we can no longer live here, and we go to face an uncertain future on the planet that has nearly destroyed us. You, whoever you are, who find this empty vessel of Alpha, come and seek us out, if we still exist. Come and teach us all you know, because we have learned many things, but most of all, we have learned that we still have much to learn.
Ain't it the truth?
So is he making a recording then?
Yeah, that was like the final captain's log that he was leaving on that console there, so that when the station is found by an alien race 100,000 years from now, they can play it back and know who owned that at one time or was there at one time. They did a lot of neat shooting and neat angles with this. It was a great set that you could shoot from any angle. I don't know if you notice, but it's a complete set. It's not like even Star Trek had one side of the bridge that normally wasn't there. This thing is
even in these they shoot from both sides.
They do, and they did in Star Trek a few times, but in this it's like they shoot from every angle.
You are free to walk where your mind has the will to take you.
Am I free to walk out of here?
If your mind can find a way.
John Koenig has taken your ego. He has called to Alpha for reinforcements. He believes he can rescue you and win space on this planet by force.
Will he? Will he succeed?
He is very much afraid that we will stop him.
Will you?
No.
this is kind of neat too. These eagles have the ability to connect up in space, and they actually get close to each other, and there's a retractable thing that goes between them, and they can link up. That's always neat. Another thing they could have done is they could have dropped their passenger modules and swapped them out, but it's easier just to link up. Now, of course, he's getting on here because this is a laser-equipped
You
eagle.
fly her, Alan. Head for the planet. I'll brief you as we go. Right.
I always thought the spacesuits were kind of clever. It was basically just a thick orange jumpsuit, basically, that they had a piece that went on between the mask and the jumpsuit.
Oh. They're broadcasting again.
Looks like the defense is fully alert, Commander.
Go in and shoot up any bases or anywhere they have anything on the way in.
Force field! Closing down main motors! Fire retros! Full power! There's no going back! Anti-gravity screens at maximum!
See, they have anti-gravity screens, but it's not shields as you would think in Star Trek. More rudimentary.
Oh dear.
They said eject. Now, how that works, I don't know. Whoops.
His visor didn't even save him.
Nope.
Man.
Alan!
Well, they got two sons.
Life beyond death. Yet all around is a world I see.
The tactile world around you now is a brain.
Unlike your human brain, this will never die. It has been developed over generations and grows with each life that is lived in it.
But why life and death if the brain is permanent?
We are not. We are but tenants of the brain for a span of 1,000 years. The people on this planet feed the brains with life.
We assume those are Earth years.
And defend them with bombers and hulks like those of the planet Earth.
We have no fighting machines of our own. Why should we? We have no fear.
See, they made those weapons look like our weapons because they don't have any of their own.
To destroy our Didn't you?
Mankind is full of fear. Come fearlessly into our brain and see.
Did you answer my question?
Come. Our world is in perfect balance.
I mean, this could have turned into Spock's brain really fast.
Restless desires of individual flesh and communal ambition are fulfilled and accommodated. They are as spiritual impulses in this great combination of brains that is our harmonious world. We have no fear.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, those rings and colors look really nice.
Yeah, you can tell this was made in the era right after.
I'm giving him a hard time, I know.
Well, but you have to remember the colors in Star Trek and the colors in Space 1999 and even in Battlestar Galactica. All those shows were made within 10 years of color television coming out. And so science fiction shows were, I mean, Star Trek, I mean, they wore the three primary colors. I mean, I know gold's not primary, but technically it was green. But they wore those primary colors as uniforms because Zenith wanted more people to buy those color televisions. And
Yep.
so, and that's why you see a lot of that. But in this show, they did a lot of that matting and mapping and overlaying and all that kind of stuff to save money.
97 minutes of life. And then no oxygen. Hallucination. A slow and peaceful drift through dream to real eternity. Or just nothing. The ultimate negative. Poison and pain. And yet more pain. Until nothing. This body of peace, perhaps for some future archaeologist to fit into an historical puzzle. John Koenig from planet Earth. Ninth and last commander of Moonbase Alpha.
John, come back.
He has faced death. He has conquered his fear.
I want him back as he was. I want him here. I am afraid of death. I don't want your world.
If you bring him back, he will have to face the agony of his own fear.
I want him as he was, with all his faults and fears.
He would destroy us all.
We are what we are. John!
It looks like he's going to re-enter before long here.
Yeah.
That'd be a little quicker way to go. And he goes right back for the weapon again. I think this is a good time for negotiation there, buddy. Where's John Luke?
So he just got teleported back inside.
I
Is that what just
guess,
happened?
yeah. See what I mean? It's a little weird here at the end.
Okay. That actually worked.
Look, every set they built, they blew up. That's how it worked. Okay, we're done with the set. Strike it. Blow it.
I've got to share this.
Oh,
Your
Christ.
car insurance company does not want you to know about this, but there is a...
I love you too, but they've got some of the dumbest ads on you.
Yeah, no kidding.
Looks like he's had a bit too many to drink. You did it, bucko. Dead, not dead? I don't know.
So they didn't, the aliens didn't see him coming.
I think they let it happen.
Oh wow, look at that.
They blow up everything in this show.
That one little laser blast was enough to cause a chain reaction which took out their entire alien city.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh man,
Stock
that's
footage
really
of the
bad.
mushroom cloud.
Well, now that planet's ruined too. Nuclear winter is just gonna set in. So. I guess they were underground.
Yes, Commander. We read you. Turn back, Paul.
Turn back.
If you're gonna die, you might as well die on Alpha.
Seconds. 15 seconds.
It's an attack, John.
So what was that? A flashback or?
No, we're now. They started the whole thing over again.
Alpha's wide open.
5 seconds.
Oh.
4, 3, 2.
Hold, don't fire. Remember, we fired first.
Oh. So she remembered something.
It was a test. Remember, he said, we return anything you give to us, we give back. Basically, whatever energy you throw at us, we throw back. Well, that was kind of what happened. But he remembers.
He remembers what happened, and she does too, right? The doctor
I
remembers
think
too.
so.
Return to base, Alpha. Cancel red alert.
Bob? False alarm. Everybody relax.
Come to find out, you don't get sucked out the window.
But does this mean we can go down to the planet?
No. We trust you will stay away.
As long as boogers are on my forehead.
And unstable. So governed by emotions like fear that you would destroy our perfect world.
The spaceships that appeared to attack you were created in your own mind by your own fears. Our only defense was to make your fears appear real.
In a moment of time, we have shown you the possible consequences of a decision we hope you will not make.
We fired first. We shouldn't have.
Forgotten one.
Also, I was wondering at the start, but so they, even the whole city getting blown up, all that stuff was mostly.
Yeah,
fake then.
it's a reset. It's a complete reset back to the beginning of the episode again, and he got a chance to make the decision again, and he made it right.
I see.
Like I said, I love this episode, but it's a little it is a little weird. There's some that are 5 times weirder than this. Wait till we get to the second season. Space 1999 meets Disco.
Man, I feel like they could have communicated the idea of what the story of what was going on a lot better if they had just very slightly changed some of the transitions.
Yeah, I think that
And
would
I
have been
feel like
better
that's
to
all it
have
would have
some
taken.
kind of hard transition, and then, oh my God, we're back, or something. It was almost confusing at first as to what was happening.
I think the story itself was fine, just their effect for going back to the beginning for the whole the city blowing up and everything, and him getting sucked out of space back onto the planet. If that was done a little differently, I think that would have communicated a lot better what was going on.
Yep, I do too. This episode is a great episode, and it's a great show, but it had problems. This show would probably have gone 3 or 4 seasons, been syndicated, and maybe been kind of like Star Trek in a way, where it would have had some carry through after the first season, the first run. But the problem came that the writing wasn't that good. Unfortunately, the sets were great. The acting was fine. It was the writing sometimes was not that good. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. We're going to be doing more of these. We're going to be doing more Space 1999. We're going to do a couple more of the first season episodes. And then we're going to go do some of the second season episodes so you guys can see those. Space 1999 is a great show. And I love the fact that we get to go back through them like this. The second season's a weird. You're going to find it crazy. About half the people change. There's different people in the show. And the control room changes. There's a lot of changes. They actually have to go to a smaller set. And so the studio's a little smaller. See here, these scenes where people are getting sucked out. How they did that was, obviously, they turned the hallway upside up. So he's falling straight down towards Earth. And that's how they do that effect. If they had just pulled those wires like they were being blown, it would have been convincing. But anyway... So, a great show. What did you think?
I thought this was probably better than the first episode. I mean, obviously that was the pilot, so it only gets a lot better from there. I thought it was really good. Again, like I said, I just think that they could have communicated the story better if they had just changed the way certain transitions happened.
Right.
Like when he's out floating around in space and gets pulled back onto the base, it's kind of like the planet's coming towards you, sort of, and then he's just standing there. I feel like even with their abilities that they had at the time, even with their budget and everything, they could have done that differently to sort of communicate that idea better. Because that was really where I was hung up, was like, okay, what just happened? The story itself, I think the story, like the writing behind it was perfectly fine. It was really good. But that'd be my only complaint about it, is just that they didn't really communicate what was happening all that well. Like when the reset happened, if it were me who was in charge, I would have, used the wavy sort of effects, but I would have played the episode backwards really fast, like,
yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Through it, I would have just played a few key scenes backwards, and then whoop back to the start, and then she runs around the corner, and like that would have communicated what just happened easily with no extra cost. So this stuff like that, I think, would have helped it. But other than
it's
that,
almost like if it was Wayne's World, it would have been diddle-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo. But that's pretty much what it is. You needed something there to tell you that we just had a reset. Yeah. No, I agree. All right. Well, there you go.
The only change I would have made.
Yep, this is another great one. And we are going to be doing another season or another show here coming up as well. We're going to be alternating back and forth. And the other show we're going to be doing is Battlestar Galactica, which was made right around the same time period this one was. And it's a great set of episodes as well that went 2 seasons, but like this one, the first season ended, and then a few years later, they resurrected it for a second season. The second season of this one's fun to watch. The second season of that one needs to be thrown in the garbage. It is literally... I can't believe Lauren Green decided to be in that second season. The main characters, most of them would not return for that second season. And so you've got a bunch of new people, and they find Earth, and it's all Earth-based, and it's all based on saving money, and it really sucked. It was horrible. So we'll get into all that. But the first season of Battlestar Galactica is great, and we're going to be watching some of that too. So stick with us here. This is Starship Adventures, and we are doing Sci-Fi rewatches, and this is Space 1999. This episode was called WarGames. It was episode 4 from the first series, and it was a great little show. All right, guys, it's been fun tonight. Joseph, thank you for coming.
Of course.
And let's give Joseph's channel, Scuffed Radio. Find him on YouTube, Scuffed Radio. And subscribe to him. He's got great videos coming out, all kinds of content. And, of course, my wife, Carlotta Alata. That's at Carlotta Alata, just like it sounds. And Scuffed Radio. Give us a like and subscribe on those other channels. We'd really appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to catch you later out there. This is Starship Adventures. My name's Ian. I'm here with my co-host, Joseph. And we just got done watching another great old sci-fi show here on the channel. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.